Hey girls, this is my new channel for single ladies, single girls who wants to live their life a bit differently to others, who doesn't want to sign up for a mortgage, who doesn't want to be with a boyfriend who doesn't even appreciate them and don't even want to have kids with them, who doesn't want to work a 9 to 5 job, who doesn't want to be part of the matrix, because matrix is the problem, and if we keep the matrix alive, then the problem is still ongoing. So I'm out of the matrix, kind of. I stopped working as an accountant, and now I'm becoming a DJ, or I'm trying to become a DJ. I already had some gigs, and I have some gigs lined up. I got some paid gigs as well. I had some corporate events as well. I signed up for agencies to get more gigs, but it's a slow process. It's not easy to be a musician, especially a full-time musician. So I'm trying to do side gigs as well. I wrote some ebooks. I have other YouTube channels as well. I have an Instagram channel. It's called Clean Drop Collective, where I'm talking about my sober journey, because I recently went sober as well, fully sober. So no more weed, no more alcohol, no more, party drugs or anything like that. So I'm really proud of this achievement after 28 years, by the way. But what I'm most proud of is that I didn't get stuck with the wrong guys. Like many times, I had the wrong guy next to me. Like I had some narcissistic guy as well for 7 years who was mentally abusing me. And he was physically abusing as well towards objects, like he was breaking the table, he was breaking my phone, and etc. So he was doing lots of things which wasn't normal in a relationship, and I managed to escape from that on my own. And I'm really proud of that, because he even proposed to me. He came after me, and he was trying to get me into his circle by proposing me, but I just laughed. I was like, no man, I don't want that life, thanks. So yeah, for anyone who is with a narcissistic guy, there are plenty, unfortunately. And we have to be cautious, because sometimes you can spend, like for example, I spent 7 years. So I spent from age 25 to age 32 with him. Now I'm 44. And, it takes years after that to recover. It took me like 2-3 years to recover, and apparently it's actually longer, because you get some kind of like brain damage as well. So it's not just like, getting over someone, it's a bit more than that. So it's really important that you recognize the signs at the beginning. So what I would suggest to anyone who is younger than me here in London or in UK or anywhere else, that you start to learn about narcissistic behavior. Like there are books, I believe there is like 7 types of narcissistic type. For example, I can name one, the abusive one, and I can name the other one, which is the covert narcissist. The covert narcissist is really tricky, because what they do is they pretend to be the good guy, but actually they're gonna still cheat on you, they're still gonna lie to you, they're still gonna use you, but they're not abusive, because they're showing this good guy character to the world. So that's the worst, because that's really sneaky. Because the simple ones, which is just straight up abusing narcissistics, they easy to spot. You can see that they are coercing you, they removing your family, your friends from your circles, they turn your friends against you, so you're not gonna have any backup support, you're not gonna have any other normal opinion from the world, and you can only rely on them. And the financial how I can say, the financial support from them is just coming to you to kind of like make you addictive to it. So you're not going to be able to stand up for yourself financially, because you're going to be relying on their help. They're making you poor. Sometimes they're stealing your money as well, or your stuff. Whatever you can give them, they're going to steal it. Like I had once a guy who was trying to pretend to help me, buying some gadgets for me. And I was in another country because I was recovering from an accident, and basically he was helping me buying those stuff online, and it turns out that he didn't give me the receipt after. So basically he was buying them cheaper, and he was asking more money for it. So he was like a thief. And so that was one. And there was another one who I was living with for 7 years, and he had like a discounted rate flat, because he was a divorced guy and he's not supposed to live there. It was a council house, and he was asking me for full price. and I was paying. And I remember I never actually seen the original agreement, what he pays for. He was just saying like, oh, I pay this much, I pay that much, oh, I pay more now. And he was asking more. And it turns out that he only paid £300 a month. And he was asking at least 600-700 from me per month. So yeah, that's one. So be careful, you know, when you get to know someone. I would advise you to learn more about narcissistic behavior. Get yourself educated. So for example, the first sign of narcissistic behavior is love bombing. They try to get you as soon as possible. They want to secure you. So love bombing means they're going to give you lots of gifts. They gonna be like, oh, planning like everything, like, oh, let's go. For example, once I dated this guy and we had one date. I never even wanted to have a date with him, to be honest, because he was just like, I don't know, I just had this weird vibe. I shouldn't have gone even on a date with him. And when we had the date, on the day, he disappeared. And I was like, what's going on? You know, are we still meeting? And he was like, oh yeah, we shouldn't meet because you're not gonna like me. And anyway, he was just like already like, you know, doing mind games. And basically, we had the date. It was horrible. He didn't even plan anything. We ended up in a shitty pub, and they didn't even have a vegan option. And yeah, it was really a shit show. Honestly, probably it's one of my worst dates ever. And while we were talking, he was talking about, oh, my first ex-wife, and then he was like, my second ex-wife, and I was like, what? Basically, he forgot to tell me that he was married twice. That was straight away my warning sign. I knew from that point that he's a narcissistic abuser who is literally just here to catch the number 3. And he was already like, oh, we can move to here, into this country. It's a faraway country. We can move there together. Don't worry, I'm going to sort everything out. You know, you're going to have jobs there, DJ jobs, everything. So he was like already like promising everything. He was like, and I was just like sitting there. I was like, dude, you know, I'm like, first of all, ask me if I want to. Second of all, I'm going to tell what's going to happen. You're not going to tell me what's going to happen. So honestly, it was ridiculous. And at the end of the date, he wanted to kiss me. He was like, he thought he sealed the deal. And I was like, well, I don't feel the same way. I'm sorry. And he was so upset. He blocked me straight away. I was like, oh my God, thanks fuck, he's out of my life. Sorry about the language. So yeah, so my advice is to younger girls to educate yourself about narcissistic behavior, because that is crucial to avoid narcissistic dudes. Because about, I don't want to lie, but 5 to 10% is a narcissistic guy. So it's really important, you know, to get rid of these kind of attitudes, because you don't want to spend months or years with them. And obviously there are psychopaths and there are, you know, criminals. So it's really crucial that, let's say, 20% of the guys are like this. So it's really important to recognize the signs. Psychopaths is really hard to read, because obviously you don't know. Like, I read about this woman the other day. She killed her husband because she wanted to live with her new lover, and she literally put some fentanyl into the guy's coffee, and he didn't die first, so she put more. And yeah, he died, so she killed him. And then the new boyfriend told the family that, you know, it's possibly her. So basically they figured her out, and she was just a psycho, and you wouldn't tell. She was just like a pretty girl, and you wouldn't tell that she was planning this in her head. So it's really, you know, with psychopaths, I can't give you much advice because it's pure luck. So you have to be really, really careful who you let into your house, who you let into your life, and how fast you letting them into your life. So for example, my advice to everyone is to, first of all, don't tell where you live. And for guys, at the beginning, don't tell where you live. Don't tell that you live alone or not. Say that you live with someone if you live alone. Say you have a roommate, you know, a guy, and you can't have visitors or whatever. So don't let a guy into your house, and don't just go up to random guys' places, because you don't know who are they. They can be a serial killer, you know. They can put you in a suitcase. It happened many times. I know at least 2 Hungarian girls who was killed by a serial killer in Canning Town many years ago. I remember they were in the freezer, discovered. They were all single moms, desperate for love. And yeah, my number 3 advice is probably don't date out of desperation, because that can be sensed by the guy, and if he has bad intentions, he will be able to use that. So yeah, my first episode got a bit serious. So what I want to talk about really is how to live life differently, and how to make a difference to your people, how to help other people, for example, helping your community, doing projects in your free time, instead of just focusing on a guy who is mentally, verbally, physically abusive, and either using you or abusing you or both, because there is life without these people as well. And you can thrive without them, because we are so strong, women are so strong, we have all the capabilities to do everything. And guys, many times they just cut our dreams off. I remember when I wanted to open many years ago a Hungarian food shop, because there was none at the time. And I told him, he was Turkish, and I was like, listen, we should open a Hungarian food shop. And he was like, no, that's a stupid idea, nobody's gonna buy Hungarian food here. And obviously it was wrong, because ever since there is like 15 to 20 Hungarian shops now. So I could have been the head of that chain, so that's that. So he cut me off on my dream. And because I was listening to this guy, because he was a narcissistic abuser and he didn't want anyone else to shine better than him, he was just using me and abusing me. So don't listen to guys, that's my advice. Don't ask a guy about your dreams, that's my advice, unless they are your friends for a long time. Because sometimes you can have people around you who you don't know well, and they turn out to be narcissistic later, so you don't know sometimes straight away. Some of them are really smart and intelligent, and they're hard to tell that they are narcissistic, but the time will prove them. So before or after, you will figure it out. Sometimes it takes some time to put together the puzzle, like, oh my god, like he was just literally playing all these games with you, and you just put it together later on. It can be few years, it can be few months. So that's why it's crucial to learn about these things.